Alexa, play the Business and Beyond podcast.
Playing the Business and Beyond podcast on Next Gen Media.
Coming to you from the Apogee Grafix studios, this is the Business and Beyond podcast on Next Gen Media. I'm Ashton.
I'm Tony.
I'm Tyler.
Tyler was back with us after a while. I mean, it's your birthday today. You're using your birthday to hang out with us.
That's right. That's how much I like you guys.
Yeah.
So this is a birthday special.
Oh, yeah. We could put that as the title.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
There we go. Idea man right here.
The stripper's coming later.
Really?
No. I'm just making sure that our people listen to us till the end. The stripper's coming
we had
at the end of the show.
one or two viewers.
So make sure you stay
then,
tuned till the end.
And then
so just have a knock at the door at the end, and then we'll just cut it.
Plummet down after that. And there's no stripper. It's actually me. I'm the stripper for my own. Yeah.
Well, you're basically already there. I mean,
Jorts are in, man.
What's been going on, Tyler?
Oh, man. I'm same old for me. I've been doing a lot of working, and that's about it.
It's pretty much when I see somebody after a while, that's what I tell them. Working, family, just, nothing.
I just...
Nothing special.
Kind of the thing that I do now is work. So...
Keeping him from us.
Yeah,
you just need to tell the execs at GM that you have something more important to do.
Yeah, I've been thinking about faking COVID. Just, like walking by somebody.
So what happens if you really get COVID right after, though? That's what I always thought. Like, what if I say I have COVID and don't, and then I get COVID
I think I'm too active to get COVID.
I don't think that means anything, though.
Yeah, I mean...
Nobody really knows.
I have plus 10 immunity to any infectious disease on account of my being a wood elf.
Is that a scientific fact?
It's like a Skyrim joke, but it's... Never mind.
I don't play Skyrim.
Yeah, it's fine. I thought it was fun.
So it's your birthday, November 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So by my wife's calculations, this is the beginning of the Christmas season. Yeah. Today, Halloween's over. We go straight to Christmas.
This is the start of the argument. No, don't put them up yet. I don't care about inside decorations. Put them up all you want.
You know what?
I just don't want the judgmental.
That's one of the greatest
side.
debates, isn't it? When do you truly put up Christmas decorations?
Well, I think you can't now because we still have another holiday, right? So don't you have to start doing Thanksgiving stuff?
So you do it.
Because my mom
Society
decorates
says you do it.
She's decorating right now.
Society says you do it
she does
Friday.
Like seasons, like fall. She'll do like spring. My mom decorates just.
But now fall's over for her. Now it's winter.
It's
Christmas.
Friday after Thanksgiving is when society says you can
promise
decorate.
you, your mom is decorating for Christmas today.
Yeah, she already has like the.
She already starts taking down the Halloween decorations.
I'm going to hell. What is that? Where's like baby Jesus and all the
nativity
scene? Yeah. She already has like that up, but it's like fall. She has like pumpkin heads on the thing. That'd be. She shouldn't do that.
That's like the people that have Christmas lights up. Like, no, they're
the
New
party
Year's
lights.
Christmas lights.
Party lights.
So you just need color
Valentine's
changing
Day
ones
lights.
Then
Then 4th of July. Then after 4th of July, who cares? Just leave it up till Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, we put a strand of lights up for Halloween yesterday. Just one strand.
I saw in my neighborhood there was people that had like.
Oh, we have a
Christmas
strand like
lights,
around our front door, and we have one of the Halloween blow up decorations in the yard. But I'm sure my wife's taking all that down today, and she's going to be bugging me to start getting Christmas.
So that's the real answer when you put Christmas. Christmas decorations, whenever you lose the fight with your wife, you just push her off long enough. Usually for us, it's about a week before Thanksgiving. I keep saying that right after Thanksgiving, and then
that's
I don't
usually
put up
when
the
I at least
outside
try to
stuff
hold
till
off.
after.
No, I'll start putting the outside stuff on usually the weekend before because we travel throughout Thanksgiving, and we're usually not back until that Sunday or Monday after Thanksgiving. So then you're really under the gun to try to put up Christmas decorations, and then you work through the week. It makes more sense to me before we go out of town, get as much up as we can. Then
that makes sense. My favorite part about this time is all of the like infomercials that come with like putting Christmas lights up. Like I'm just waiting for them to be like a gun of some sort to like shoot Christmas lights on your house.
Like on the Grinch.
The Grinch. Yeah.
But because there's one of those things that take them off. Have y'all seen that? There's like it's like a little fishing line thing that it like pulls off all the.
Well, I use little clips that you just shove under the shingle or the gutter.
That's what.
So once I just unplug it, I just unplug it and just pull one off at a time and get them all down. Then I roll them all up and everything. It's a lot easier to take down.
Yeah. How
Give
many
yourself
of
a
those?
13-year-old son. You got him taken care of.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, if you can put up with the bitching and complaining half the time.
Well,
Bring me that. No. So Bryson, who's 7, was helping put that one strand up because I was too lazy to go get my step ladder. So my real tall ladder's just sitting on the side of the house. So I was like, I'm just going to do this. And so, but I have to move it every few feet because it's leaning against the house. So he's holding one end and handing it to me when I get up to the top of the ladder. And he forgot like 3 times. This is a 24-foot strand across our garage. And he kept forgetting. He went out playing somewhere. And it was his idea to help me too.
yeah.
And I get up there like, I don't have the lights. I says, oh, my bad, I forgot. So I can't imagine.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of business owners like that too that probably they hire these guys and they're like, God dang it.
Damn
They'll
kids.
hire my 7-year-old. They can take him.
No, just someone in general hiring and
No. Short attention span.
yeah.
You're right here. That's what I have. A pretty bad case of that.
That's why we have you on here.
Yeah.
We're glad you don't listen to past shows. We mess with you.
Is that
We'll
true?
bring up the exact same situation. We'll go off on a tangent, come right back to it, and you'll just keep saying the same thing over and over.
That is true. That will happen to me. Yeah. Or I'll right in the middle of something. I'll forget what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure that happened the last time I was on. Just right in the middle of like.
Which episode was that? I don't
yeah.
know. It's been a while since you've been on.
It has been a while. Is this the record? Longest.
We went
Month,
3 weeks
6
without
weeks.
a show.
I'm
so-
assuming the viewership dipped quite a bit because of my.
I don't know.
cult
Last
following.
week's show had a quick. I mean, usually it takes a while to get up to the amount we had, but just took about a week, and it was up to average.
You know, all my other friends that listen to this, that I'm assuming listen just for me, have not mentioned that I have not been on. So maybe they prefer it that way.
Well, it's like nobody mentioned when we
Wait
were
a
off for
minute.
3 weeks. I don't know about Tony. I was
No,
thinking.
we never heard it from
I
anyone.
was like, oh, maybe. But maybe we should start skipping a few weeks because I think people got excited and were listening.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be, maybe they're going to want us to do, since we missed so much time, want us to do like multiple shows within the week now.
I don't know, but I know it's kind of after it's a steady stream of listens for about 2 weeks to get to our average, but hopefully we have more people, and that's why. But we're about at our average about just a week. We're doing our last show, so maybe we should kind of hold out for people a little bit, make them want us more.
Well, through the holidays that may happen. May
Yeah.
have to. We'll be traveling during Thanksgiving.
We should try to
Come
do
on.
a road trip show or something somehow. I don't
That'd be
know.
kind of cool.
At least record it and we could just post it later. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll probably have to do a couple remote shows just because we have a big announcement at work, and I'm pretty sure it means it's going to be 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So
Or you're
Do
fired.
it while you're on the line.
I think
And video yourself
that would
too.
be. So I zoomed my mom when I was at work yesterday, and
Is that the right verb? You zoomed her?
I zoomed her. Well, I didn't zoom her. I zoomed my sister because I don't trust my mom to be able to work her phone. Like, you know,
Or to answer it.
What time? We
Yes.
need to grab that sound bite.
cut that. So so I zoomed her, and luckily, you know, she answered it, and I instantly thought she was wearing a mask. So I tell everybody at work that she looks like Shrek.
There's no filter.
So my boss was sitting beside me, and he was like, "She doesn't look like Shrek." I was like, "Dude, she does look just like Shrek." And then my boss's boss came by and was like, "Dang, who's that?" And I was like, "That's my sister." And he was like, "She just looks like Shrek." So she was like, "Why do you keep telling everybody that?"
You say, what do you mean? Who is that? It's like, well, it depends who that is. What I mean. So did you have trick or treaters?
I actually
Where were you yesterday?
I was at work, but I actually brought candy just because it's my favorite holiday. So I brought candy and just kind of passed it out because I think as an adult you don't really get to trick or treat as much.
Yeah.
You know, you don't. So I always try to bring that.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
that
it's fun
vibe,
because
that-
it's
yeah.
it's a big holiday, and I think I don't know as many people like it, but it's kind of up there with Christmas. I mean, it's way
I think
past
so.
Thanksgiving,
I
but
think
there's
it
not
is.
so much pressure and work to do anything. I mean, we had one blow up decoration in our yard. I put up a strand of lights, and we sat in our garage and passed out candy.
I just think it's fun. Like, I like to socialize. So like, my favorite part about Halloween is not dressing up, because I don't really ever dress up, I don't think. But I like passing out candy. I think it's fun. I don't know why. That sounds like really creepy, just giving candy to kids. But in that situation, it is
You
fun.
could do that year round.
Yeah. If I had a van, a white van with no windows, I could do that all the time.
So just sit outside. We'll do a bit and just video people's reactions.
See,
just sit out there with a bowl of
every
candy,
time,
and just sit there and see what happens.
Every other time, that'd be weird. And it's funny to me, like how people freak out like on a daily basis about this Corona thing, and then like the Halloween. Well,
Oh,
fuck,
yeah,
it's
we're
Halloween.
good.
Fuck it, let's
We're
go.
good.
Yeah,
There's no Corona.
Hey,
Yeah.
our kids are wearing masks.
Yeah.
everybody's wearing a mask.
No, but seriously, you say that. We were walking across the street, and we try to do in a pattern, and we'll walk by, because we go early because our kids are young, so we walk by a few houses with no porch light on. So we're going to the next one. The people across the street will yell, "Hey, we got candy," or whatever. We'll say, we'll circle back around. So there's just a guy sitting out there and said, "Hey, y'all want some candy?" But you're right. If that was any other day of the year, that'd be really creepy that he did that.
So I was supposed to have it Saturday off, but the guy I work with, he like literally never takes vacation, and he put in vacation to take this weekend off, and I didn't know about it, but he got declined, and he literally never takes vacation ever. So, and he does it's like a charity auction or something like that. So
He got declined.
I
Take vacation for a charity auction.
right, and I had put in like a couple months ago for
Is
it,
evil.
and I got declined. So my boss was like, "Well, if you want to take, Brett was gonna take this weekend off," and I was like, "Oh, well." He's like, "Oh crap, it's your birthday. Like you're taking Halloween off." I'm like, "Well, I was gonna try to." He was like, "Okay." So Brett, super cool about it. He's like, "I'll take Friday, and you can take Saturday." So I'm sitting there thinking like, dude, this guy never takes vacation. He literally is always here every day. So I was like, you know what? Let me call my mom. So I called her. I was like, hey, if I don't take today off, they'll give me next weekend off. So I'll get, instead of Saturday off, I'll get Friday and Saturday off. So, and she was like, yeah, do that. Like, that's just smarter. So I told Brett, and, which, I mean, literally, this is the only time he takes off in a year. So like the whole GM working calendar, he takes off Halloween weekend. That's it. Like, no, we have 80 hours of vacation. He probably has more than that. He probably has like 100 and something, 200 something.
They roll over.
And no, but you get paid for them at the end of the year. But he probably has close to 3 weeks of vacation.
Oh, because he's been there so long.
Right. And he doesn't use it ever. So it's pretty wild. So I felt bad.
Well, I guess
You know.
you get paid at the end of the year, but no, I'm gonna take my vacation.
Yeah, it's like two paychecks for him probably. Like you get it lump sum.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good little bonus to set aside for
I
yourself if
always-
you don't want to take the time, if you don't need the time off.
I think I have 3 weeks, or I have 2.5 weeks. I always get paid for at least a week of it, just
And
because.
that's so weird. I've never ran a big corporation. Maybe there's a specific reason, but if you're gonna give people 2 weeks of vacation or whatever, why would you say, okay, it expires at the end of the year and you can't get paid for it? Like, what's
So like our
what's the point?
salary, they don't get paid for theirs. So you either take it or you lose it.
Yeah, and ours too. But the same with hourly employee. If you're just you accumulate it throughout the year and then you can use it on January 1st of the next year. Yeah, but it's. I mean, I understand. So somebody doesn't chalk up 8 weeks and just take 2 months off. But I don't understand why you just wouldn't pay somebody for that different option and you just keep them there.
So
working
like, I
for the
mean,
2 weeks.
that's a big incentive for a lot of like hourly employees where I work, because I know a lot of people that don't use their vacation at all.
Just to get the extra money.
Right, because like sometimes we'll go on to a like past couple of years we've been taking like 4th of July weekend. That whole week we're laid off that week, and they used to take your vacation just without nothing you can do. They just take that shit, and then a couple of years ago they made it an option to where you could use your vacation or you just not get paid that week. So I mean, I don't exactly live paycheck to paycheck, but I certainly don't want to miss a week, right?
Mhm.
So I used to get paid for that. As you acquire time, you get like I think it's like 2.5 days per like 5 years or something. I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
so I think I have 2.5 weeks of just vacation. I have 40 hours of like anytime I want to. But on top of that 40 hours, I have another 120. I have no idea.
But at the end of the day, that's time. I mean, either whether you use it or they pay you for it, that's time you earned. You should never lose that. I don't think that's right.
Salary does, but
Yeah.
I think they get.
Well, I mean, I
they
guess
get
it's a different
more
situation.
than we
I think
do.
just any business, any company that would take away use it or lose it.
I
That kind
mean,
of sucks because that's an incentive for you. That's because
I can see it.
just
but
because you've been there working hard for them
also
and you haven't taken that time doesn't mean,
I mean,
you shouldn't be compensated.
It's the same as when you
right?
start a job. If they tell you you're making this much per hour or this much per year, they have to live up to it. Just because it's called a benefit,
Yeah.
they can't say, well, I mean, if you argue that point, well, it's just an extra benefit we give you. It's like, but we agreed on that.
Yeah,
So why
exactly.
would
I
you
don't know.
not?
I can see it the other way too. Like, this is the time that I give you in a year. You use it or don't, and I think it makes you.
I know the last employer I was at was you had a lot of people that they weren't able to take it. There would be a lot of blackout times. There'd be a lot of time. No, we can't let you off. We're too busy right now. But then people end up losing that time. It's like that's not fair. That
Yeah.
There's if you're gonna make them lose it, they should be able to take off any time they want. There should be no blackout dates ever for them.
So my
Blackout. That's
Yeah, we
like
had
an
times when-
airline. Like
Yeah.
well, no, I understand. Like,
Well, there
well,
are
we can't take
times-
off the day or after a
Exactly.
holiday,
yeah.
and still get paid unless if you have a vacation day, you can use it.
Like schedule. It has to be
yeah,
like scheduled.
it has to
Yeah.
be scheduled. And my
I mean,
company's
more so
kinda-
than, like,
my,
regular
my company's
vacation,
kind of iffy too. Like, well, if you have the vacation day, you can use it. We had a guy get fail his probation or whatever and have to go to jail
Shit.
for a year or go back to wherever for a week. Sorry, he failed. They said he had to go to back to county, whatever it is, for a week, and he said, "Can I just use my vacation?" And we usually have to schedule it 2 weeks in advance. I'm like, oh, I guess so. Just so they use his vacation time in jail, but our companies like that, nothing rolls over. Sick days, anything. So the only time I ever get sick, if I do, is when it's really cold. I don't ever get sick in the summer except this year, which apparently wasn't COVID, but I'm convinced it was. Allegedly, two tests were negative, but I never get sick in, the hell was it, June or July?
Mm-hmm.
But so I'll get sick in January, February, or get colds or whatever. But you get, I think it comes out to 6 days a year or something, but it accumulates over time. So January 1, I don't have any sick time. It starts over, like whatever the week is, you get how many ever hours. So I start accumulating sick time. Although now it's different. I'm a salesman. I can just work from home and still get paid. But when I was hourly, it was completely different. I'm like, I only get sick in January and February. So if I don't have a sick day, I don't get paid for it. But I had 4. The sick time I don't understand at all. Like, just because it happens to go from December 31st to January 31st to January 1st, now you have no sick time. Like, I get vacation a little bit just so you just don't pack it up and take a month off. But sick time, I just didn't understand that. Why at least that's the way our company goes. I don't know about most companies.
Yeah, I guess
I think all companies are a little different. I think, what's really a better concept is just paid time off. Don't call it sick. Don't call it vacation. Just give them that time. You use it however you want to use it, right?
So that's literally what ours is called.
Yeah.
So we have like 40 hours, like hourly.
Yeah.
Has that 40 hour. It's called VR. So it's literally just anything. Like they can't say no. You can use
just
40
tell them
hours.
I'm taking off.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like an
You
automated
could use a day.
thing.
You could use a week. Whatever. However you want to use it. Yeah.
It's just an automated
I
thing.
think that's a much better system.
And then you have other vacation, like actual vacation where you have the schedule and stuff like that. But we have at least 40 hours of time that, like, I use one of those to do a podcast.
Yeah.
And you don't have to tell anybody. You just can do it. I mean, I always tell my supervisor if I'm going to, especially where I work now, if I'm going to take off, I tell him. And he's like, well, before you call him, let me see if I can just get you the day off. He's really cool. Which I think he should probably be on the show too. That's another person besides Sarah. He'd be fun. I told him that we just talk about stuff and drink whiskey kind of early in the morning, and he was totally down.
We'll act like we know him because you talk about him all the time.
Yeah, Thrasher. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah,
hey,
Y'all
man,
like him.
I feel
He's
like we're
pretty cool.
brothers.
Basically know him now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Tell him to listen to every episode before, just so he knows what
He's also like
into.
he's also the TikTok star. He does the one chip challenge. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that? The one chip? You haven't seen the one
I
chip?
have no idea what
So
that
it's like
is.
a really spicy Dorito, and so we have another guy I work with. We call him Spud. He's like a short black dude, so like Spud Webb. And he always eating like hot chips.
That's racist.
I think it's prejudiced. It doesn't matter.
They're-
Anyways, And Thrasher was like just messing with him. He's like, we're talking about doing the 1 chip challenge, and literally the next day Thrasher comes with the 1 chip challenge, like 2 of them. And he's like, I'll do it with you. So I like hot stuff. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm doing that. Like I don't even want to even look at the dust.
A hot Dorito that's hotter than like doing the pepper challenge or whatever?
No, this is like
Is it the ones from HEB? Those
It's Doritos.
some of the pea.
It's not the spicy nacho Doritos.
No, it's like a ghost pepper chip. It's like a crazy like hot chip.
Yeah,
It's something with the pea.
Never heard
I
of
think.
that. I've heard
Really?
Ghost Pepper Challenge.
So this is like
a chip. It's
if you-
HEB has.
if you just
one.
if you just like Google just like 1
No,
chip
I
challenge.
think we should get that and eat a chip at the beginning of the
Fuck,
show, or
no,
a pepper
dude.
or something, and then try to do the show, and then we could talk about.
I like
That'd be a good mid roll.
when I worked at the
Oh, here it is.
Spice Rack, we did the
Damn it, Tony, we don't have any coasters. I'm trying to keep your.
animals.
Yeah, seriously. I see it over there, but I don't want to
here,
take my
got you.
headphones
Hold on,
off.
I got it.
Well, you were in the. See, Tony, he was in the middle of a sentence,
Well,
and he's.
I'm in the middle of looking up this.
He's busy.
Yeah, 1 chip challenge. Carolina Reaper.
I don't know. Tyler said Dorito, so I was
It is,
thinking, is it a
seriously.
Dorito? That's what the bag looks like.
Yeah, it comes in a fucking coffin.
But it's a bag of chips.
No, it's one
Just
chip.
one
it's
single
like
chip.
one
Oh, yeah,
$20
good.
chip.
It is. It does look like it's a tortilla.
Oh,
It's black.
Yeah,
If
black
anyone
for
could see
death.
this
Look at
on-
that thing. Fuck that.
oh, there you go. Yeah, you
so,
got it.
So
You got it.
he took a video, which I'm sure he has it on his phone still. He took the video and it says like do not touch your face or anything, and literally
It says warning: do not eat if you are sensitive to spicy foods, allergic
no
to peppers,
shit. It's 1 chip challenge.
nightshades or
liberals.
capsaicins, or are pregnant or have any other medical conditions.
So we're gonna get it, set it out.
Holy
We're gonna use like tongs or something because we don't want to get anything on, especially if we're drinking or
Well,
be an idiot and rub your eye like
My hands,
Mike Nolan or something.
like
It's
I
a
can't touch
Carolina
peppers.
Reaper.
So the first time he did it, he took a video and like obviously his eyes were watering, so he like took a bite of the chip and was like, "Oh man,"
Ugh.
because
Yeah.
we're talking
Yeah,
about
we
like
should-
don't
this
touch
is
your
what the
face.
package
We're
looks like.
reading it. We're all talking about it, and it's like one of those times where
There's 1 chip in that.
yeah,
That seems. We're going back to business. That seems like a big waste. I mean,
Not for $18. That's a great business.
oh,
Yeah.
$18.
Yeah.
Never mind.
$18
So-
I was saying one
for 1 chip.
horrible for the environment.
So he did it, and he likes spicy food, and it was pretty funny. And then like I don't know if I would do it ever again. Like if I did it one time, like I'm sure as hell not ever doing it again. And he brought it, and because Spud always eats these hot chips, and said, here, I'll do it with you. And I'm thinking like Spud's gonna be like, nah, no way. He was like, all right. And I was like, what? Fucking seriously? And he was like, I like hot chips. I'm like,
But that's
Guys,
different. That's like
but Thrasher already did it. He's like, it was really hot.
that's different though. If you like spicy foods, you like spicy foods that taste good. I
So-
mean, I don't know that this tastes bad, but you
It
know, at
can't
the
taste
Blazing
good.
Challenge
It
at
can't
Buffalo
taste
Wild
good.
Wings,
Yeah.
we didn't want to do the challenge. We were at my friend's bachelor party. That's where we ate, and we said just bring this because you have to get 3 wings minimum. Just bring it. We'll try it.
Sure.
And it took about 3-4 seconds to hit you, but the wings just tasted terrible. Like all they did was put
Just too much hot
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah. It's like, well, if it tasted better, it might be okay. So that's the thing is you think, well, I like spicy stuff.
Shout out to Chef
So they
Clam.
do have small bags, 2-ounce bags of these chips. They're different. They're the.
I
ghost
think
pepper.
that's
But
what we
it's
should do.
not
Forget
the-
the
It's not
chip.
the 1 chip challenge.
Right,
No,
right.
this-
Forget the
this
chip.
company
Yeah,
some of the
makes
P.
chips.
I think
Yeah.
you should.
Yeah, it's that
You
brand.
or one of your chef friends or whatever should make us like some wings or something, like just 3 wings or something to be enjoyable to eat,
So we got this
and we eat it right before the show
ghost
starts.
pepper. We got the oil that it's from India that they used to ward away elephants. Okay. That's what we made our ghost pepper hot wings with. But again, shout out to Chef Clam. We wanted to make it taste good. And so we experimented a lot with it. And this is though, like when we
Your
work in the
taste buds
kitchen,
are just warped.
we one of us would be out in the smoker doing chickens or something or doing prep, and they would be like, hey, I'm getting kind of hungry, will you make me something? And it was always quesadilla or something easy to eat, so like you could like eat with one hand and like prep with the other. And we always were like, yes, we'll make you something to eat. And then we're like put that oil all over so Chef Clam, he was out there doing the smoker, and I filled the quesadilla up with like ghost pepper stuff. Like
That's
super
mean too.
hot.
You can't eat
yeah.
crap like that when
And
you're hungry.
It's not an aromatic, so when you initially eat it, you don't taste it. So he was just lit on fire, and he was like, "You motherfucker!" Yeah, it's so funny. And he did it back to me.
Straight heat.
He did it back to me. Yeah, we made chili, and he filled the bowl with So I took like one bite of it. And I was like, "I hate you." I instantly, it's just, and it's the oil. Like milk doesn't help because it's the oil.
Yeah.
So like you just, it's like 45 minutes of just your.
We need to do something.
I'm pretty sure my
like
gums
that.
receded. That's how like hot it was. Like yeah, it was pretty bad.
We need to do something like that.
Yeah, hard
Challenge
pass.
for something.
Hard pass.
Come on,
Yeah,
just for the show.
I love spicy food, but I'm not gonna. That one, I have no. I think it's because I'm so mature now that I just don't.
We can make it a
wanna do
competition,
that.
like whoever you can have milk or whatever, but whoever takes a drink first or whoever loses has to do
Maybe like
something.
end
Why'd
of the
you-
year we can
why'd
do
you have to do
something.
that?
And we'll let our listeners pick what
'Cause
the
now-
payoff is.
Now I'm in.
Because it'd be something like,
We need like a wheel of death, like a.
I don't remember what it was. It was a radio. I think it was a radio station. Maybe it's somebody at work. But for their fantasy football payoff, whoever got last place had to sit at a Waffle House for 24 hours.
Oh god.
But they could cut an hour off for every pancake they ate. So I guess their friends would take shifts and sit with
pancake
them.
at Waffle House.
Or a waffle,
waffle.
sorry.
Those are some big ass waffles though.
But yeah, so they took shifts, so somebody had to sit with them the whole time to prove you was there for
Yeah.
24 hours. And you just eat a pancake, a waffle, how many ever you ate. That's cut an hour off your time. Now that's a pretty good challenge because it's not too much. I mean, you have to sit there, but it's not like eating something hotter. But this would
I
be
think
both.
I think
This
I'd
would be
rather-
both. We all have to eat something hot, and whoever loses has to do some sort of payoff.
I think I'd rather like shave
Yeah,
my
like
head
the
into a
wheel-
mullet or.
That could be one of the payoffs.
So Jeff and our buddy Ben, they all work in material, and they had like just the group leaders had a little competition where who could wear a mullet the longest, and they like Jeff cut his hair in a mullet, and it actually looked pretty good in a mullet. like if someone's gonna look good in a mullet, I was like not because he has kind of curly hair, so I think that's called the Kentucky waterfall if I'm not mistaken, like a curly mullet. Man, he looked pretty dang good in a mullet, actually.
It's all business in the front.
Yeah, that's what I told. He
Yeah, it
like
depends.
slipped it back a little bit. I'm like, dude, you kind of look good in a mullet. Like, you might win, man. He did. He won.
We need to definitely do something at the end of the year where there's some sort of payoff. Some
Face
bet.
tattoo.
No.
That's too.
No,
too intense,
okay.
too intense.
So we'll let our listeners just go ahead and start sending in what your payoff. So we can do multiple, and you can draw at the end. Whoever loses.
wax your balls.
But that's
Who's
not
gonna prove
something. Yeah. But that's not something.
A
Okay, who
volunteerist
cares? I
tribute.
mean, it's
Okay.
you would have to do it on air to get the payoff for it because
So my.
the pain is what the problem is with
My
that
hair
because
lady-
everything's covered up. Who cares if you have to go to work with that?
Oh yeah, I mean, you like we could
Like
do it.
dyeing your
We
hair
could do
or
it on the show. We could like wax your back or something like that. You have back hair?
none
You have no back
at
hair?
all. And people are
do
confused
you
because
not
I
have
have
any?
like collarbone hair. But well, that's
You don't
what I
have
call it.
back
They
hair?
say your chest. No, none.
What about lower back hair?
None.
What about ass hair?
Maybe some. I mean, none you can see.
I would ask Tony, but I already know.
I have a little hair on my chest. Looks like a Batman.
You just have
Symbol.
you just
And
have
then
what do
some
you
on
mean a
my
little hair on
stomach.
your chest? You don't have a lot of chest hair?
I mean, where there's hair, it doesn't look. It's not patchy or anything, but it's like a Batman.
He's
symbol.
not like you.
No,
I'm like you. I'm covered in it.
none.
What? How?
No hair on my back.
What
I
the
have it
hell?
right here on my stomach and then right here on my chest. I'll show it to you one day. I'll show it to the camera. Just give me a few more weeks to. I'm going to the gym. Let me slim up a little bit, get a 6-pack.
You don't have like that little patch like back here?
Nope.
Really?
Yeah, you want me to take
They
my clothes
shaved
off?
it. They shaved it when they had his tramp stamp.
Oh, so I have like a hair tramp set.
That's stupid, Tony. That's stupid. I mean, that was 5 weeks ago. The hair would have grown back by now.
So
Which is a random thought. How come your leg and arm hairs just stop growing? If you shaved them, they'd grow back. How do they know when to stop growing?
well, because it's in a follicle and it only produces so much hair,
But when you shave it, it
will only
Grows
grow back.
back.
to a certain
Yeah,
extent because
I'll
it's
shave
a
my-
follicle and it
I
only
don't
grows
know.
so far.
don't know.
You don't have
It's-
infinite
what
hair
you do with
life.
your hair in your face, your head and hair in your face.
Well, because it's a different follicle.
Okay, so you just make me sound like an idiot. That's fine.
Well, okay,
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't study
So then you
follicles.
can't use your follicles from your leg and your head.
No, they take that off your
To
ass.
replace.
Yeah, well, okay, so they do like take it off, but it goes way deeper than that. So, like, it will.
I just heard it on a commercial. I don't.
Oh.
I don't know. The
I'm pretty
science
sure they
of
do
it.
shave your like the skin off your ass, put it on your head, and it
The
will.
skin.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought they
Pluck
just
the
took that.
follicle and
it's
all,
like
Ooh,
and implant it in.
because like whatever you have like what like
I'd be
six or seven
screwed because
layers
I don't
of
have
skin.
ass hair.
You don't have any ass hair, dude. You're so lucky.
Maybe on the inside or something. I don't know.
The
but
inside of your ass, you have hair. That's,
don't
that's
know.
really weird.
I
Yeah, that's strange.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying you could look at it. It's
This fucking
No, I don't wanna look at it,
conversation went way off the rails.
So back to your
so
ass
there's
hair.
gonna be a stripper at the end of the show. Or I just
So
keep
back to your
listening?
internal ass
Stupid.
hair, Ashton. I'm more interested in
I'm
that.
just-
now.
I'm just saying you can't see it. I'm like I don't know.
So you assume it's internal. That's really weird. You know,
Well,
'cause
hey,
like
let's-
your nose has hair in it.
No, let's get back.
Very
we,
little
We
bit.
talked a little bit about holidays. And yesterday was Halloween, and now we're getting into the kind of holiday, Christmas season. As far as business wise, a lot of businesses started this year. A lot of businesses building, promoting, really going all in. I mean, what do you see happening now
Shout out to
going
Sense in the
into?
City.
Yeah, and that's one that I was actually thinking of directly. Because they sell seasonal candles and things, so I'm sure they're ramping up. They'll be launching.
I feel like this is like the worst possible time to open a business or start a business. So you have to be like rock solid. So I think the businesses that are starting now are gonna be like prepared for
Depending
anything.
on what business. Well, I mean, because we talked about, I thought it was a good time. Depending, like if you have to go get a storefront, then yeah, it's probably a bad time, or you have to invest a lot of money.
You're talking about like online. Like,
Yeah, if you're able
Just
to
in
start it.
general,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, just
true.
like someone like Sense in the City, that's their business is blown
you
up this
know,
year.
That's true.
You know,
But like going
what-
into this holiday season, I mean, what is this a time like a company's
This is
just
the
going
worst
to
it's
double
gonna
down
get.
and really go in hard?
Well, and a lot of people are gonna have a lot of free time because like maybe they're not working or they're working from
Yeah.
home.
Well, that's the thing. You have your choice of picking from unemployed. I mean, if you're trying to hire, there's a lot of people
Yeah,
unemployed.
yeah.
There's a lot less competition
Yeah.
from smaller companies.
Yeah.
So if you have the resources, it's
This is the
financial.
time.
It
Yeah,
financially makes sense
Sure.
to reinvest into your company.
that's true.
If you haven't had to, lay off a bunch of people or close down locations or whatever, but especially if you have a business, you're working from home or it's online based.
Mm-hmm.
I
you
think
can
for
really-
like
there's
a
a lot
small
low
business,
overhead.
this is the time to thrive. I think for big business, this is the time where like a lot of
Unless you're Amazon,
if you're
they don't
down
count.
if you're down in business like production wise, it's gonna be blamed on COVID. So like it doesn't matter. Like this is the time to. I'm excited to see what big companies start trying new stuff or stuff that they would never do
Yeah.
before because all their
Yeah,
losses.
take more
they're-
risks.
They're
yeah.
about to blame it all on COVID. It's all on COVID.
Yeah.
It's like we just launched a new truck, and personally, I think it's our best one.
I do too.
I mean, just the way it looked, everything. I think once manufacturing process part of it is just figuring it out. I think is a whole thing that like I guess normal people don't understand is that like we know how to build it, but putting it together and making sure everything works good is a whole nother story. Like you
Well, I
have
think
to
that's any business that when you're relaunch, a new product or
Well,
new.
it depends.
because
I
it's
mean,
not just
process.
rebranding.
Yeah,
it is
no,
it is
yeah.
everything is new. Like
Yeah.
nothing is literally nothing is the same.
But you,
Yeah.
but you were right because some industries it's really hard to start right now. Like if you're thinking about starting a podcast, which we encourage, it's pretty difficult to do so because the equipment is expensive right
Yeah.
now. Because I think a lot of people have started podcasts.
Like starting from nothing. Yeah.
I mean, we
It's
have
hard to acquire.
we're buying more equipment to open a new studio, and we find some of the same equipment that costs $15-$20 is nearly $100 right now.
Yeah, because I think everybody's doing it.
Yeah, and back ordered. It's
Yeah.
stuff we're waiting on.
Well, and with that, there's been a lot more competition into this market that wasn't there pre-COVID.
Which I think is good, man.
so.
I'm a huge podcast person. Like I don't really watch TV. There's like a few podcasts that I'm like really into. Like I watch every week or every time like I would be able to tell you when they come out. But I just like kind of scrolling through like Spotify and just figuring out like a new cool like
How often do
Every-
you listen to our podcast?
every week they're I just play it in the background. I'm like 2 or 3 viewers. I just put on every single device I have, which I suggest all of our listeners do. I know you have multiple devices, and
Yeah, just download every podcasting app. It just helps spike
yeah,
our.
I mean that's what I do.
Yeah.
I mean I don't.
Damn it! Between me and you, we're probably all our listeners.
Yep. Well, I mean, no offense to you, Ashton, but you don't have a Twitter following like I do. So
I think I'm about to hit 1,600 followers.
Oh, I think I have like 4.
Hold on.
And I think
Let me
like
see.
2 of them are porn bots.
Oh wow, I got a lot of followers. Well, a lot. I've gotten some followers. 1595. I feel ashamed that I knew I was almost to 1,600. I watch it pretty closely.
So you guys asked me, what's new with you guys? It's been a while since I've seen. either one of you.
Let's see. What did I say earlier? Work and family. That's pretty
Okay.
much it.
Same
My
thing.
kids were Iron Man and Spider Man yesterday for Halloween, and
So if
But-
you could, if it was still like appropriate for an adult to dress up, I think it's appropriate
dude,
for an
apparently
adult.
it is. I felt weird not dressed up. We'd see a big group coming, and like, and my kid likes to hand out candy more than he likes to go trick or treating.
I
said,
think I'm
there's
that
a big
way.
group coming. He said, how many? I was like, 10. And there may be 4 or 5 kids out of that. I just see a bunch of people in costumes, and they don't come up here to get candy. Where there's a guy dressed as a hot dog in our neighborhood.
Nice.
No, the best one I found, I'd never seen this twist on Superman. He was Superman, but he was dressed like in a suit. Or not in a suit, but dress pants and a button-up shirt. And he unbuttoned and he had the S under, like he was
So like
mid
Clark Kent.
changing. He was Clark Kent mid changing to Superman. I thought that
Okay.
was, and his kid was Batman.
Yeah.
pretty
I
good.
thought that was a pretty good, and he
Yeah,
had
that's
glasses on and everything. Like
That's
you
pretty good.
He was pretty
good one.
good. But no, if you just kind of stay with the theme of what your kid's dressed as. I thought about
Because that makes it appropriate, right?
yeah,
Like, 'cause
yeah.
they
Well,
can't
my
just
kid
be
was
like,
Thanos last year, but I thought because I'm bigger, I could be Thanos because I'm taller than him, and he could be Iron Man and Spider Man. That would work. But it's like, well, he was Thanos last year, so that kind of.
I saw
took away
one that
from
has the marshmallow. You know the DJ. I don't know if y'all know who that is. He just wears like a marshmallow head. Like
Oh,
Is
like,
that
yeah,
who
yes,
dated
yes,
J-Lo?
yes.
I have no idea.
what you're talking
But so like he was on like a little platform, it was like a robot little remote control thing, and then like I'm assuming it's his brother or something. It was the disco ball. It was just like in a baby carrier, you know, but it's just like hanging, and like the kid was like, you know, as it was going, and like the baby was just hanging from like the thing, and it was like the biggest smile on his
Disco
face,
ball.
like, you know, because it's just fucking
That's
hanging
funny.
there, and like people are like waving at him, and the kid's like, you know, it's like the,
That's funny.
and then the baby's just like free floating in the
So-
air. It was funny.
So, a different topic. I assume people give out the same amount of candy. We just grab a handful and throw it in. But when it's just like a baby, like it's their first Halloween, which I get it, you go trick or treating. But it's just the baby and the parents. Like that baby's not going to touch that candy.
So
Do you give them less candy?
it
'Cause
is. I have a different aspect for that because my mother has a certain way things work. Halloween, so she used to have just like a bar candy, like candy bars, and then
Full-size, king
she would
size,
have
yeah.
like, you know, a whole vat of other like traditional Halloween candy, you know, like
Mhm.
fun size or whatever. And if it was a baby, you know, like normally the mom or dad is like holding the baby, the other one has like the thing, like, you know, that's not for the baby, it's for mom and dad. So she's like full candy bars, right? Or she would let like kids pick out, and you know,
Oh, she's aware of that, so she's
there would be like
giving them candy. Oh, I know
one
this is
kid
for you, so you
would
can
like
have
take
candy.
like a jawbreaker, and like one of my favorite ones, I remember this little girl, she was like dressed up as like Bo Peep or something, and she like went and grabbed like one thing, and my mom is like, you get to pick your candy, as she's like dumping candy in your bag, right? And so like she picks one thing, and mom was like, oh, you can grab a handful, and she's like, one more, and then like my mom's like, you know,
Just dumps it
fistful
in
and
there.
stuff in there, and she's like candy bars in there, and like the little girl turns and she sees like the candy bar, and she picks a candy bar up and then gets her back and sets it by my mom and walks away. Like, she was like,
I'll
"Oh, I'll trade
trade.
you," right?
Trade you.
And mom was like, no, you can have all of it, and like the little girl was like,
I know we put little bags together with like 5 or 6 pieces of candy in, and then I grab a bag or 2 for backup because that'll go quick because we don't have that many. And then we just give handfuls of candy out. But we had a bunch of glow sticks, so we'd have to say. So I tell them to pick a glow stick because there's a bunch of different colors, and they grab a glow stick and walk away. I'm like, no, you don't have to pick glow stick or candy. You can
Right.
have both. Just pick what kind.
I think
of
it
glow
just
stick
shows you
want.
how like well parented like some of those kids are, you know. Like that little girl just like one piece of candy out of the whole vat of
Yeah,
candy.
I think overall you do see that.
yeah.
Really, kids aren't that bad off.
No,
people,
no.
people complain about kids and how bad they are and what our future is. Yeah, when you see stuff like
I think
that,
that's just a sign of you getting old. Not you, but when you start complaining, everybody. I don't remember what it was, but somebody's talking about, it's probably a podcast or radio show, but somebody's talking about an article from, it was in the 40s, early 40s, and they were talking about the older generation was talking about how lazy the younger generation was.
Yeah.
And that was arguably the greatest generation, the World War II generation.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, I think the older generation's always going to complain about the younger generation because these things that come up that you don't understand with all these social media platforms, and it just seems like, and ideally you're making the life of your kids a little better than yours. That's the idea. That's what you want to do. So, and I think as you get older, there's just stuff you don't understand, and you just
Well, it's not
complain
direct
about.
generations above. It's always that. Because, like, we are going to think our kids are fine. But it's the ones above us, or maybe even one more above us, are the ones that think that they're
Yeah, we're going to
badass
spoil
little
the
kids.
crap out of our grandkids, but then we're going to be like, man, they're screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean,
Hey, go back and listen to our I think the title was "Millennials Get a Bad Rap" or
Damn
something. Go back and
millennials.
listen. Go back and listen to
no,
that.
we talked about that.
Yeah, we
and
talked
that's-
about that too.
It's a lot of what we're saying here is, yeah, that's crap, man. I really think our future generations are in good hands.
I
they're good.
they're always going to be softer than, the generation after you is always going to be a little softer than
I think
you
it's
because
different. I mean, think about the technology that these kids are
right.
gonna,
Well, that's
they,
what I'm saying. Like,
we were in some of it, but not completely in.
I think
it,
We
right?
were like in the transition.
we
of
were in the
cell
boom.
phones.
We were in the boom
Yeah,
for sure.
But our kids, they know that's all they know is technology. I mean,
Right.
they don't even hardly know anything other than touchscreen.
right.
Right? Think about the kind of stuff
They
they're
don't
going
know
to
the
know. and
Nokia brick.
no.
Okay, you can play soccer with
They don't know that
thing.
you had actual buttons on.
Right.
You're
devices
saying
on
actually
your phones.
physically soccer, the phone is the ball.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to say
100%.
soccer. They had Snake on Nokia. That was my
or,
first one.
Or
Nokia.
the what is that called? The T9
Or
texting.
Nokia.
You know what I'm talking about? Where you just like hit the.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? So there's the.
Or you hit the button, okay, 3 times for C. and then,
Right,
Yeah,
right.
our kids, you're going to think we're old. That's the new rotary. That's going to be the new rotary
Even
Right.
phone.
even our laptops and Chromebooks here. I mean, my daughter uses it and watches videos and stuff in her preschool. It's a touch screen.
Yeah.
Even the laptop. I mean, she doesn't even
No,
use
my
the
kid.
buttons.
Okay, so we have a cheap little projector and a projector screen we put up for Halloween, and we'll play Halloween movies. So we we plugged the Amazon Fire Stick up to it, and so we're testing. I closed the garage door to make it dark in there. And my kid's touching the projector screen. He said, "Why does it not work with touchscreen?"
Well, because
And
at
I said,
school they
yeah,
have the
you don't
smart
understand
boards.
that,
They have
yeah.
smart boards at school that you can touch
So
the screen with
I
the
was
projector.
just
Yeah.
out of school when that became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember going to Lolo's classroom and was
Yeah,
like, what the fuck is this?
2007
It's
was when I got
crazy.
the I guess it was the original iPhone. I don't know. My first smartphone was an old iPhone before you can even change the background. It was just black.
Yeah.
It was in 2007, right after I got out of high
I
school.
don't think I got an iPhone until I was maybe a senior in high school. But just because I've never been a big phone person. It's just like the past couple of years I've been on like a tech spree where I like to have. I just been getting really lucky because like my old phone was a Note 9, I think. I got it the day it came out on complete accident. Had no idea what it was. I just was ready for an upgrade.
Like, people waited in line for that.
Right,
You just
I
come
did
back
not-
the
yeah,
next
like,
day
I
and
don't give
just-
two shits about
Yep,
this.
I had no idea what I was
People
doing.
are
I just
freaking
was
out
like,
about
well, and they're like,
Like,
'cause
it's just a phone.
I had like an S7 or whatever, and I had it for a couple of years, and just like a 3 or 4 year old phone, like it just starts to kind of. I've had it upgrade for like a year, so I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. And they're like, well, because I was like, I just want like the newer version of this, I guess. I don't know. And he was like, well, this one, blah blah blah. I was like, sure. He's like, it just came out today. I was like, oh, cool. Whatever.
new, though.
He's like, this is our last one. I'm like, oh,
He was
awesome.
he was insulted that you didn't just think this was the
He,
greatest.
you know,
wanted, he wanted
anytime
to,
somebody
he
like-
wanted to
that
be part of that moment.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody's like that, I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, sweet. I'm like, oh, fuck fine. I'm just trying to like, he's hyped. I'm like, so am I, baby.
God,
Woo, yeah.
Dude.
He's,
So then
he
when
just
I
wants meaning from his
I actually-
job. He just wants somebody
I
to be
have
excited with
now
him.
ascended now to like I'm a tech guy now because I have like the newest cool phone on purpose. Like I knew this was coming
I
out.
don't think I call that a phone. I mean, I know it's
It's like a
kinda-
laptop. Like at some.
It's my mini tablet.
Well, remember when
I
phones?
mean, that's bigger
we had flip
than-
phones, and phones got smaller
flip?
and smaller,
Uh-huh.
and we
They
were
trying
like,
to make them smaller.
yeah, they kept
It
getting
flips?
smaller and smaller, and then eventually, well,
So the weird
Like a
part about this
mini laptop.
is there's no display on
That's
the
sick.
outside.
Hold on, let's show people if you can see that.
There's no display on the outside, so it's kind of strange.
I know it's not
That
bringing up
is
the
weird.
keyboard, but this is what his phone's like. You see here, be like. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to get COVID all over your phone, but there you go.
Trying to get a couple days off work.
Yeah, so when it rings, you don't even know.
You have to open it.
to open it.
Yeah.
Can you leave it flipped the other way too?
Yes,
You
yes,
can leave
yeah,
it
yeah.
however you
So like at
So
work,
that's gonna be like what the Razor's like. The new Razor coming out.
at work, I leave
It's
it
got 2 screens and it flips open.
like this. So if someone calls me, I can see it.
See, we play like Battleship or something. I wonder if that's
Yeah,
how that works.
So there are like chess,
games that you can. Oh yeah,
like chess.com. You can shout out.
that's pretty cool.
You can
actually.
play chess on both sides. It's pretty neat.
That's pretty
Just
cool.
like there's not a ton of apps that can work
so
with
do
it.
movies play on both screens? Like if you
No,
hold it
so
up?
you have to like double tap it.
to which
But it'll
side
work.
you're.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotcha.
And I mean,
You
it's
have
a
to
brand.
tell it which
It's
side you're.
brand new, so like not always does like that command work. And
So
like,
give it 5 years and this will be like a dinosaur.
yeah,
phone.
there's a lot of like I don't know what you call it, like functions like with your finger, like gestures, I guess is what
Mhm.
it's called, that they work but not all the time.
Oh, they're working out the bugs.
yeah.
They'll probably have an update
Yeah, and
that'll fix
like
a
I
lot of
said
that.
earlier, Surface, they don't do hot fixes. They'll wait to do like a full update.
Yeah.
Like you don't, but they do. You know, your iPhone, you might have like 2 or 3 big updates,
Mhm.
like in the life of your phone. Like they will have 10 or 12. But Surface is the best like laptop or anything you can ever have. It's worth the money every single time. It is the greatest thing I think I've ever owned is like a Surface like
How
laptop.
much did that cost?
It's a little bit more expensive than like like you can get a laptop way cheaper, but you can't get anything like I think it's like probably 12 or 1300.
Wow.
But it's like
I remember
I mean
going to
it
AT&T
blows
and paying
up.
$200 and that's the phone.
When
When you get an upgrade.
this was like retail price I think it was 13, but the new iPhone was like 12. So it's like
Yeah.
$100 more than
And I think a lot of that depends on what ecosystem you use. If you you have the Surface laptop, so having that ecosystem of them, like for me, a lot of the stuff. I mean, I use computers, but like I use a lot of my iPad. So for
Yeah.
me, my iPad, and my iPhone being able to work together through the cloud.
Yeah, it'd be
that
stupid to
works
have
for me.
So being
to have a tablet.
Yeah,
and
for
phone
me
that are
I
different.
like to do a lot of things
Being
on
Microsoft-
that versus being on my laptop. I don't do a lot on my laptop.
being Microsoft that Windows works.
Yeah.
So like I have Windows 10 on this.
Yeah.
Like you can't get that on a Note 9. You can't get that on a new iPhone. I've fucking Windows 10 on this. So it's like a laptop.
Yeah.
So all my stuff is through Windows because I got off the purge of Apple. So like everything in my house is compatible with because like your Alexa isn't compatible with Apple.
It pretty much works.
But
I mean,
like
everything-
a Google Home or something like that, like
yeah, I mean, it's compatible to
mine-
the fact that it does all my. I mean, it'll play my Apple Music on it. It'll do
mine has like
all
it's
that.
just
I mean,
She'll go, Alexa go, and then play your app.
yeah.
I just feel like Windows is like that's gonna be like the next big thing. That's gonna be the next Apple. I know obviously Windows and Microsoft is huge still, but I think that Microsoft is going in a direction business wise that is like it's just so free and open.
I think it just depends on what ecosystem you're on. I think
And true,
that depends
and
on what you enjoy.
I'm
to
not that
use.
like the Apple Android guy because it's the same thing. It's
Yeah,
Apple has
that's
just
what I
just
say about
whatever
Ford,
you-
people who argue
it's-
about Ford and Chevys. Like,
It's whatever
okay, it's a
you-
fun rivalry, but they're both really
I
good
think-
quality.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And
There's not
I-
one. I don't.
I
in
work
my
for
opinion,
GM.
there's not one that I like more than another. When you talk about tech or any of that,
I think
like,
the trim is different.
I think it's
That's what's different to
it's
me.
just what you
is the
prefer.
inside.
But I
Like-
think it's a lot of what you prefer and what works for you. You know.
Ford is cheaper. I mean, and it performance wise, I'm sure there's a big difference. I don't really know how much the difference is. I think if you're gonna like pull something, I think RAM is still the better one.
It depends what you're. If
I've
you're pulling
I've
your
had
boat
Chevys
or
and
you're
I've had
pulling
Ford.
I think that
pulling light stuff. If,
I've
if
never
that's not
had
your
a vehicle.
job, I don't think
Here's
it's
the
gonna be
thing:
a
I've
big
never
deal.
had a vehicle. I've driven from half-ton trucks to 1-ton trucks to, I mean, everything in all different brands. I've never really ran into one that wasn't capable. Really, I mean, I just don't think.
what
that
were the
it's
ones that landscaping? They were
Fords?
okay, so they were really easy to work on.
Yeah,
The first time I ever tapped a starter. Thank you, Bob Nix.
but they were capable. I mean, my Ford now is capable.
that was
My
my
Chevy before that was
94 Chevy
capable. I mean,
Silverado.
I don't know. I mean, I think
Ford to me
people
has
get
the like
into
the is my favorite performance. They always have their hand in like all fun stuff. Like Ford always has stuff in racing. They
I
have
think that's
Indy
different
cars.
because they have
have
like a complete racing team, like in Ford more so
I mean,
than other.
so does Chevy, but
I don't
like
think to the level like
No, not
Ford.
even almost.
Ford has
They-
basically
and
they have
everything.
SVT, you know, their specialty vehicle team, and I think that makes a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of technology and a lot of racing minds.
I
Into
really
that,
wish
you know.
Cadillac would, because they actually have a racing team. So like, how cool would that be driving like a G1 like CTSV with the mid-engine of a Corvette? Like they just have like they have all these like, and like driving a Cadillac would be like super. I know it's just the shell of the body, but it looks cool as fuck to me. But I wish GM would just knock up their racing team a little bit better, because like Ford has a huge performance thing.
Mhm.
Like I'm really big into rally. Ford is huge into rally, and Chevy has Camaro, which is like the super rally, but it's also like an 800 horsepower car driving on like
Yeah.
I mean rally's like tight turns, so like
Yeah.
it's a
It's
lot
not
of
capable for that.
well, I mean it does it's really fast, and I can't imagine, like, I don't know, you just don't do as those small 4-cylinder cars, which I have one of those. Whoop whoop. Shout out tuner cars. They are able to slide around, but watching that Camaro do it, it's like it's not as. I mean, it's the skill level is probably really high still. I mean, more than I can, but they're not handbraking around corners, and it doesn't look as smooth. It's always like
No.
really hard stops, and then like it's impressive watching it like take
it's like
off.
Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, and they put a tuner engine in the Mustang.
Yeah. Well, so now Ford actually they're putting their EcoBoost
Yeah.
in a Mustang, which is a 4-cylinder, but
Yeah.
it's the what is it called? The Focus RS. It's 400 horsepower
Yeah.
for a 4-cylinder. That's a V8. Anywhere, I mean, 400 horsepower. It's crazy. So like they're putting that EcoBoost in the Mustang. I would buy one. It's gonna be weird
Yeah.
because
I'm
like
not
sports
that-
car with like a
I'm
4-cylinder,
not
like
that
really,
kind of
but it's 400 horsepower.
guy. I don't even buy into the.
If you
the
had the
EcoBoost
money,
trucks.
It's
I don't
just
care.
as
I don't
much-
care what the numbers lay down.
It's just as much as I mean, how many horsepower does your truck have?
Ford,
Do you know?
400.
So I mean, that's crazy. That's a crazy ass engine. 4-cylinder cranking out that much. That's the thing is like I have a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder and it's cranking out 300 horsepower, which normally you think of like the Honda Fit with a 1.5 4-liter. You know, it's like maybe has 100 horsepower. It's just crazy how like technology is advancing. And GM, I'm directly involved, so I know how much like performances that they're working on. I just wish they would do like cooler stuff. Now
Yeah.
they're just doing like all this. Like we're pushing a big electrical movement, which
Well, if they had like the line like Ford, you see has a lot of, and Dodge as well has a lot of the specialty type vehicles. You know, we get into the RTs, and then they,
right.
you know, like they almost have a whole line, and then Ford has the Raptors and different. You know, Chevy just has gotten away from that. I mean, for a while I had that one
Where-
Chevy truck, the Vortec Max, that was kind of their. It's
So
like they were
we're-
getting into, and then they just stopped. They just really they had the
We're
SS
pushing
years
a,
ago, the SS truck.
Yeah,
and
yeah, they
they
did
just
the
kinda-
Cobalt.
yeah. They just moved away
They're
from a lot of
pushing
that.
a new Colorado that's gonna be like, what do you call that? Like a Jeep basically. It's not gonna have a roof. Like it's gonna be able to like take stuff off. I
Mhm.
forgot what that's called, but
I'd
Where
like
the-
to compete with a Ford
Kinda like how
Bronco
the
or something.
Bronco or
Yeah, Ford
Jeep
right.
Bronco.
or-
Which I mean, the Bronco's pretty dope, but
it
it's
is.
really just the bottom trim level of that Bronco is really cool. The rest of them are just kind of meh. Like if you go up the trim level, like the highest price Ford Bronco is nowhere near as cool as the very bottom one.
But that's kind of like what the Bronco goes towards. Just
Right,
more
you
like
would think, like-
Jeep outdoor, just kind of.
Let's say there's
well,
like
I think it's the capabilities of
there's
what
like
you're going to
6
be
of
able to
them.
do to them.
there's like 6 trim levels, and like the really cool ones stop at 4, which is good because like I'm not super rich, so I can't, I'm not gonna buy a $60,000-$70,000 car. But like once it goes past 4, like you no longer can take, like the only ones you can take doors off of is the bottom trim level. The at the second trim level, you can't take the doors
on the
off.
second one. I built one out the other day.
Is the
We were
second
looking
one?
at them. Yeah.
So then maybe it's the third one. Like I know
We
it
were
goes up
looking
like
at-
1 or 2. Like you can't
but
take
you
the
add
doors off
different
anymore.
things. I mean, we went through building it. You think you're going to start in the base, $30,000.
I want the
four-door.
standard one though.
Where are you building? Where are you gonna buy? One?
Amberley's. Yeah, we're looking at one.
Oh.
Or that, or the
Just a random thing. Say, yeah,
that
we were
or
just
the
building one out.
Z71 Tahoe. I just don't know if I can do the
That's gonna be-
$84,000.
Talk to me.
price
man.
tag
I
on
get you a
those.
good discount.
But we were
Or-
building one out. I mean, that's how it is. But once you start doing this, it's like, oh yeah, I want these wheels. Oh well, to get those wheels, you have to add $5,000 additional.
Yeah.
So that's the
stuff.
cool
I'm like,
thing.
dude, I don't want to do that. Like, so that's where I would just get one base. And
That's
then
the
over
cool thing
time,
about GM.
You build up
is
those
that
things.
all of our options are dealership based. So like literally, if you want different if you want Z71, it's available. It's just per dealership.
Yeah.
So anything that's optional, like tires or anything like that, we don't ship it with the tires. We put donuts on it. So like, there's a lot of trucks that roll down with just donuts on the rims because like
Because they're going to be
it has an
optioned at the
optional.
dealer.
So it all is separate. So literally anything like mine is the like we have a lot of high countries which is like the most expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a Chevy, right? High country or was that GMC?
No, it's Chevy.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's the one with the
Oh yeah, because
brown.
Denali.
It's not like you work at
Brown
GM or
leather.
anything. Don't worry, Tom.
There's so many options. But like there's so much stuff that like a lot of the stuff is in our parts bag. So it's not like a lot of stuff's not equipped yet. It's all in like a bag that sits in your truck. And so like it goes away, but every one of our trucks have that because it's cheaper to put it in there instead of not put it in there. So a lot of the stuff that is like a option. We have a lot of dummy plugs just because whoever is smart enough at GM that figured out that like putting a single wire harness in the truck is it eliminates mistakes and
Yeah. Well, that's something Ford's been doing for a long time. So actually, even on my truck, I mean, my truck's like a mid-level. It's not the low level, but it's not the high level. That Ford uses this system you can get. It's ForScan, and I was telling you about it. I think that you can plug in
ForScan?
ForScan.
Oh,
It's like you scan the vehicle and you plug it in. It's a computer program. You plug it in to the OBD2, and you can go in and unlock all the features, like using the remote to roll down the windows automatically. Use it like remote start. Like all those options are all in the vehicle already. They just have to be unlocked.
Programmed,
through the computer program.
Yeah.
They use absolutely everything is the same from the base model truck to the highest level truck.
So do
Which
you know
is
what he's
smart
talking about
business-wise,
when he
it's
says
smart.
OBD too?
Mm-mm.
So there's that little plug at the bottom of your like where your knees would hit.
Yeah, where you plug it in, it tells you what's wrong with it.
So that is the OBD 3, not a 2.
That goes directly into your
That is BCM,
computer.
body control module.
Yes,
Well, but it also lets you access all of the modules for all the whole
So
thing.
BCM is what controls all. You have a BCM and an ECM, and those two things are basically what control everything. BCM is everything on the inside. ECM is everything on the outside. That's actually my job. Is electrical in the cars.
But like on my Ford, there's like 12 different computers. He's talking about just 2. Mine actually
Right,
breaks
no,
down into more.
Those are the two main ones.
than
There
that.
is a fuck ton of other ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
a lot of
Ford
people
is
don't know
set
that.
up where you can go in and completely
Yeah.
do all that. Where in past years, like Chevys and things weren't like that. Because I've been a Chevy guy until I got this Ford truck, and they had so many limitations on it.
So
that
actually, the reason
if you didn't buy those higher level vehicles,
Yeah.
you never could even add those options. Were never even a possibility.
the reason
to
why
you.
ours isn't access is because we have a separate program. It's called Service that you can access as a civilian, but it's because too many people manipulated it, and ours is so like particular on because like for us I don't know about Ford, but for us our BCM and ECM are the two main components that control everything, and people were going in there and changing things that would mess up the BCM or ECM. So like things like a light would come on, and then when they would take it to the dealership or whatever, a tech would have to go in there and reset everything. So it was like we have it tuned a certain way, not tuned, but like organized a certain way, and when people would go in there and manipulate it, they would just do it the wrong way, and they would have a certain module fail because it wasn't programmed right, so then it would fail a couple other ones on the other side. So that is why we took that part away, but we have a thing called Service that you can go to. So if you buy like a car from a new car from a dealership or something, they'll give you that information where you can access Service, and it is difficult to kind of work your way through it until you get used to it. I couldn't imagine doing it just as like a regular person. I use it every day.
That's how Ford's is. I mean, you have spreadsheets that
Right.
come with it when you buy the programming, you buy the license for it.
So like
and
if you
they
buy a
give
car
you-
from us,
they give you the spreadsheet and it tells you, okay, if you want to do this, like you can do your fog lights, headlights,
Mm-hmm.
and high beams all on. It's called Bambi mode. Like it tells you the sequence you have to
Mm-hmm.
program it. I mean, yeah, I could see where you could make a mistake and mess it up, but
So
it gives you all
we
that
actually took that
information.
away so people wouldn't so I guess if you buy like a Tahoe, they give you a packet that is like, hey, try to learn this before you mess with anything. And we actually have it locked, so you can't go in there or like a mechanic can't go in there and mess, because we also ran into that thing too, is that some people at dealerships, you take it in, you have like a blinker not working, they would go in there and mess with the programming, and then it would be, oh, we don't know why it failed, and then they would spend like a couple more hours in there. So we eliminated it to where you could actually look up and see why. So I actually like the way we have gone. Typically, I don't care for the direction we've been going, but this new truck is incredible. I think you should buy one, and I can get you a good discount.
We'll see.
What, from 60 to 50?
No?
Shit, not even that probably.
The more expensive it is, the more discount I can get you.
That makes sense, but still the more you have to spend, though.
Yeah. I mean, the more expensive it is, the more. But because it's I don't know what my percentage is, but there's a bunch of people that have high country trucks at work.
They're gonna say, "Dang, Tyler, you're buying a lot of vehicles."
Well, I want to know how the fuck people are affording these high country trucks, and then they're telling me, well, it's because it's a $55,000 truck. I'm like, I don't know how much money you make, but I don't make that much money. And they're like,
55,000 shit.
If you have 55,000,
They're
to spend
90
on a vehicle, or you
Well,
90 at the dealership.
yeah.
you might buy something a little. You might buy like a BMW.
Yeah, Amberly
or
sent
something.
me a high country. She, oh yeah, I like this. I was like, okay, I calculated. I was like, all right, $1,600 a month for 6 years.
yeah, we need to talk. We need
You
to
could buy a house, or
I was
you
like,
could buy a
how
high
about the
country,
Z71?
or-
That'll save us $10,000.
we need to
there.
talk off air.
I was like, you know what? I don't know if they're as capable as the Bronco. Let's look at a Bronco.
That
Let's build one of those
$1,600
out.
was for like 84 months, probably.
For 72 months.
Yeah, I know. I was watching a YouTube video, and the guy bought a new truck. It wasn't even a new truck; it was new to him, but it was a used truck, and it was like $700 something a month for 84 months. It's crazy that they'll let you buy a vehicle out that far.
Yeah.
It's insane. Well, that's how they can continue to go up on the price.
Mhm.
We said, well, just finance it for 84 months. It's no big deal.
Yeah, because you think, well, it doesn't matter. I just care about the monthly price.
Hopefully
If that
minimize-
matters, then just lease it. If that's
Yeah,
all you
you
care.
might
If
as
you're not,
well,
gonna,
yeah.
if you're not
That's
going
all
to pay it off, then just lease it. If you're going to figure that out, because you get a little cheaper, then
Yeah, if you've made the decision just to have a payment all the time, at least maybe a better option.
I think a lease is not a bad idea, especially if it's like first generation of stuff. I mean, because like obviously I'm taking a lot of pride in our vehicle, but like I don't know if I'd buy one just because it's first generation,
yeah,
right?
That's every vehicle. Yeah.
But the electrical team, that's the cool thing. Why I'm so into this now is because they want to eliminate that. They don't want you to not buy it because it's first generation. So like we haven't shipped a lot of them out yet, just because like the guy just is not satisfied with how they're going. And there's just a lot of like weird. This is my first new startup, so I'm like, I used to always hear all the guys that I look up to. I'm used to hearing them like, well, yeah, but, when we started up this,
Mhm.
I'm looking so forward to like
you were only through
going
one model
through-
of vehicle.
right.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go through all this stuff just so I can be like, well, with. I can tell the stories that I used
Back
to
in
listen to all the time.
20.
Right.
We
Uh,
put out this fucking
During the
vehicle.
COVID, yeah. So I'm looking forward to going through it, but I also think like you have to go through some shit before you get to tell cool stories. So I'm not having a ton of fun right
that's
now.
how they become cool stories.
Right.
So
Right.
did production? You brought up COVID, and that's kind of a question I've had is, has production been a little slower than it typically would have been? I mean, I know partly because you have a new vehicle, but with COVID, has that like helped be like, hey, we don't have to push trucks out so fast. Let's take a step back and make sure it's right before we push.
Pushing trucks out is what makes us the money. So my plant I work at is 5/8 of the profit for GM total. So it doesn't matter if we're building good shit or not. They're shipping trucks.
Yeah.
Now it's not going out to the customer per se. We have
Just hitting
a thing
dealerships
called
and
no.
fulfilling orders.
No. So once they get out of our plant, like out of the literal doors, they are shipped, but they sit in the yard. So like there's a bunch of them that have not been shipped. Like since we started earlier this year, so like January of this year, like I don't think many of them have shipped. Like, but it's just like I said, our leadership, electrical wise, is just not satisfied with what just electrical is doing. And like we have like a lot of weird paint things go on, but it's new paint. It's new mix of paint. Like everything's brand new. Wire harnesses, carpet's new. Everything's new. The panels are new. The plastic clips are new. Everything's fucking new. So there's a lot of stuff that like we get it brought to us, and then we'll assemble it still because that's our jobs, right? We're just putting it together, and then they're not satisfied with it, so it just like goes to the side. And I don't know if that actually gets sold, and like knowing there's a defect there. I also obviously always look at the forums, and I've seen a lot of like the LPA, which is like the license plate applique, like the color didn't match, And I know, like, I'm reading the comments and saying, like, yeah, this is a dealership problem. Like, they ship this out. Like, this has been damaged, which a lot of the stuff does get damaged, does get ran into. Like, we had a park brake fell just randomly. Like, it's nothing that anybody did wrong. It just, the park brake fell and it rolled backwards and hit a truck. So it messed up the front fascia, also messed up the tailgate because, you know, they hit. And typically you scrap that. Just the whole truck. Like, you just scrap it. So, like, there's a team and GM, I think it's like 1 or 2 guys that just strip the truck, and we're not allowed to reuse those parts. Because, I mean, you just get brand new ones. But they, like, will scrap it, and then when we do a rebuild, which is, like, something's wrong internally with the truck, they just put parts on there just so you can do your job. And they put those parts on there. And then I'm pretty sure they actually do sell that truck, but it's, like, super discounted because, like, it'd be like a insurance thing. Like, I think that's GM's insurance probably pays for it, I guess. But we're allotted so many of those. But there's been things where just the electrical components, like the mod, just don't work. Like, you get it and it just, nothing's working. Like, the horn will just go off, just nonstop. Like, the whole way down the line. As soon as it gets powered, it's meh. So then that's my job where I go and I'll pull that fuse so the horn stops. But as soon as you put it back on, it'll just go off. And literally nobody knows why. Like, there's the guys that are like actually put that program in, or like, I have no idea. Like, it's just weird kind of like electrical things that you can't explain. It's been fun. This process has been very entertaining for me. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, I think, though. I mean, just figuring, like, there's just so much stuff that nobody knows. Even the guys that are like professionals have no idea what to do. They're just like, it's broke. Like, that's it. But it's just because, like, you know, the people that send us material just haven't quite gotten their feet on it because it's all new to them too. So, like, sometimes the part is just bad, and, like, you don't know until it gets to me and that power's on. Because, like, it might be 200 or 300 feet from where I actually work is when the power gets put on the vehicle. Like, it's at the very end of the life of the vehicle. Like, once it gets, like, all the shit is on the truck already, there's no more production, the battery gets put in. That's, like, one of the last jobs. And then, like, the fenders go on, and then they start the truck, they start programming it, and then it comes to me. So they do all the fits and stuff, but there's nothing else to get put on the truck. Maybe emblems on the outside, but that's it. Like, nothing else inside is, and it's just like, shit just doesn't work. It's been a crazy process so far, like, watching it get put together, watching stuff that I'm like, there's no way they're ever gonna fix this, and then, like, the next day it's done. And you're like, wow, what fucking took so long? This has been a problem for like 4 months. What took so long? But it's just like figuring out, because they had to go, you know, back to the drawing board basically. So it's been fun watching that process, watching the people that, like, I used to look up to, or I've seen, like, that guy knows everything, you know, and then he's like, I have no idea what's wrong. And you're like, whoa, what the, like, if you don't know, like, how, you know, how's it gonna work? But it's been fun watching, like, my leadership kind of scramble around. Guys that I knew were, like, super solid, watching them panic and run around, it's been kind of refreshing, you know? Just,
the pressure on them now.
Getting to
not
see
just
them,
on the
like,
ground.
in their element, you know?
Yeah.
So it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. And being a guy that everybody's like, oh, well, Tyler might know. I'm like, oh, maybe, like, I had somebody come up to me the other day and be like, oh, you're Tyler? I've heard about you. I'm like, I've heard about me. They're like, yeah, you're like a legend over here. I'm like, cool. I'm somebody, you know, I gotta get Hunter to shut up. It's my I have a fan club at work.
Yeah.
Consisting of one male. Hunter, yeah, it's my ward.
Shit. Does he listen to the show?
He does. He fucking better, actually.
Well, you need to tell him something on here and just wait for him.
I think I've talked to him before over the show before, Hunter. Yeah, to, like, listen to something that Tony was gonna say or something that you were gonna say. He
just put, like, a secret message or secret code into it, and then ask him. Like, yes. Yeah, no, that.
In your sleep.
That's great to work somewhere. I mean, not that you've worked there that long, really. I mean,
it's been like 8 years. It's been a while.
But yeah, but there are people who probably worked there 40 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
I know the people I always go to at work. I mean, some people go to me too, because at our yard there's only a few people that have been there longer than me, and they're like poolers or whatever. So it's nobody that are above me, anyways. But they know how to. They know to go to me. Did you want to play something?
No, go ahead.
Too late?
They go to me to ask little questions, except now we went to a new system, so it's kind of frustrating because I liked being that person, but I know somebody.
So now, do you feel like you have the pressure to like be the guy again?
Really, yeah, because I mean, no, because I think I'm becoming that guy already. Just
So-
because I'm at that age as a salesman, the other salesmen are there's like a 60-something-year-old one, a 50-something-year-old one, a couple 50-something-year-old ones. I'm that age where I'm still, in their words, a tech guru, which like compared to you or compared to my brothers, my younger brother or something. No, I have no idea what I'm doing.
So you say that, but I'm not very computer savvy at all. I just
Well, maybe that's it. I'm more computer savvy where if I don't know, I could probably figure it out just by messing around and looking, hey, this is where you usually go to do something like this. And they have no clue.
so like I'm gonna take you off on a weird tangent here. Is like I'm the tech guy at work, which I should not be. Like I can barely work a computer, but like I read the instructions to like we have like a key cutter, and I literally just read the instructions, and they're like, oh well, you're pretty good with
can do that.
computers.
You can do
I'm
that.
like no, it's not. It's
Well,
I just read the
used to-
instructions.
I used to work in inside sales, which basically means you help the outside sales do that little piddly shit. You know, they're out selling, which what I'm doing now, but I still have outside sales ask me to, hey, you're quicker at this. Can you do this? Or I'm like, no, it's not what I do. You need to, I mean, it's just entering order. Go give it to one of the inside sales. Well, you know how to do it. You're quick at it. Like, because I'm better at my job, I should.
I guess that's
do it
just like
for you.
the willingness to like figure it out. Like, I mean, no offense to the guy I work with, Brett. He always says like he's not computer savvy. So like I have a laptop that is running a program, and sometimes you have to refresh it. He will just stare at it, and I'm like,
not
wait,
working.
you just have to hit refresh. Like you literally, it's just a little.
You're like on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm like a 3 if you really think about computer savvy
So
people.
I just like I'll
and
show
you
him,
think-
and because like I just like if my dad wasn't because my dad's pretty tech savvy, so it's not it'd be like anyone else's dad. I was like, you get the, it's just like a little pad. I was like, you go up there and this is just like the right click on the mouse, and then like I already can tell I lost him. I was like, so you just go and you just click this pad. It's the same thing as the right click. You just click and it's just like that little. It's like an arrow. He go, oh okay, and then like I watch him and he's just staring at it. I'm like
well, it
Brett,
makes
you
me
just-
feel uncomfortable when I show them something that easy. And like, what? Why didn't I see that? I just say it's just one of those things. It's weird. I know.
Well, he's not. But well, you're just better with computers. I'm like, it's literally just refresh, Brett. Like
Yeah.
it's not, Or he'll be like, hey, how do I send this, but I don't put it on my wall? I'm like, it's a message. And he's like, well, I just don't want it on my Facebook. I'm like, what? It's,
On the wall?
It's not. It's not.
When's
on
it been
it's
on a
not your
Facebook
Brett.
wall?
Yeah.
Like, how many years has it been since we called it the wall?
He's my favorite person. He's like, I want to send this to Stan, but I don't want it on my wall. I'm like, well, it's a text message. So
Have you seen? I think it's I've seen. I'm sure there's probably a website devoted to it, but it's like things people thought they were putting in the search. Like on Facebook, they thought they were searching something, but they typed it into their status or something.
that's like
It's
what Brett's
screenshots,
biggest
yeah.
fear. That's like Brett's
Yeah.
biggest fear. It's a funny thing. He's like, I don't want everyone to see
No,
this. I'm like,
it's
a
weird.
message.
Get on Facebook and
It's
think you're
weird,
searching it,
random
yeah.
stuff, and it's probably if you had an explanation, it really isn't that weird. But it's just like I can't remember one, but I'll do one because we did one on a past radio show. But like midget tossing or dwarf tossing is a sport, so people would search something like that. You're like, why are you looking for that? It's, I mean, obviously like something porn. Like, okay, you know why you're looking.
This would
for
be
that.
like when Thrasher comes on the show, he'll be able to tell you like a bunch of the funny stuff that Brett says. Like, so he's very country.
And how old is this guy again, Brett?
Oh shoot, man, I don't know.
Pretty like old, like
Older
than our parents.
probably
old. He's like 40.
probably right around. No, he's probably right around. He might be a little older than my parents.
That's kind of weird. I mean, I guess that's kind of a. You had some that were tech savvy and some that
But
weren't.
I'm saying like I'm talking like he's like a farm boy.
Oh.
Like he's very country. So like he's even more older, but he's not like
Yeah.
Like, you can turn the
Act-
computer on.
athletic
How do you log
wise.
in?
Athletic wise, I mean he outworks me all day long. Like, and I feel like I'm a pretty hard worker, and he books
just something
me.
he didn't spend time around.
Well, and he won't.
apply,
It's like one of those
yeah.
things like it's a little harder for him to learn new things, not work wise, but like you're just
Yeah.
hitting refresh. Like it's not. So
Like
like
to learn
I'll,
It's more like he
program
just
or
probably
something.
didn't care. If he
Always-
actually
if he
tried,
could,
he
yeah.
would. He
well,
could
for
learn.
him, he's not good at it, so he's not
Yeah.
like he doesn't understand it. He's not like because like the funny thing too is we have like a little vending machine thing at work that you slide your card through, like a whole store.
Mhm.
It's all, and you can like download an app to pay for it, and like he doesn't want to put his card on his phone, like it's because like people can get it, which so I like he won't order anything online. He'd be like, well, can I call him? I'm like, who the fuck calls people anymore, Brett? Just like put your card. He's like, well, but
You're gonna call
I
somebody
don't
who
want someone
texted
to
you?
take my identity. So I explained the little
Take
padlock.
my-
Like, hey, how about you use PayPal?
So he won't because they won't put it on the internet. So
Because PayPal can get
PayPal
hacked.
takes care of
he's
you. I mean,
he's
PayPal
he's
could
one of
get
those,
hacked.
and
Oh my
he's like
gosh.
his wife is like, no, she'll kill me. So it's
yeah.
it's funny to me. It's humor, it's
Like,
humorous.
what if Amazon gets hacked? Okay, then
Okay, well,
one
then
what
out
if
of
they do?
2
Right,
million
right.
people, if you just happen to have your
But
information.
he doesn't
somewhere-
understand
Yeah.
like his grasp of that. He doesn't understand. So it's humorous to me, and I try not to make fun of him because I think he's a little sensitive about it. But like that's how much computer. Like he's like, I'm not real good with computers, so he'll he just tries to pay cash for everything. It was like that thing doesn't take cash. Like it's all. So I'll just be like. He just wanted to drink. Like he just wanted Dr. Pepper. So I'm like, I got you. He's like, well, here, you have change for 20? I'm like, fuck no, I don't have change for 20. I don't carry cash. Are you kidding me? And he was like, you don't carry cash? I'm like, no, you country bumpkin. Sure,
Hillbilly.
like, you can't fucking pay with cash anymore. I was like, you don't know about the COVID? Like, you can't pay with cash anymore.
Everything's
Well, I have a
touchless.
lot of
Right.
cash in my wallet right
So
now.
he-
but that's just because
it's
I
just
forgot
funny.
to
He just does,
take it
like,
out.
Funny, like so he always has like weird sayings. Like I touched the exhaust after the truck's been on, and like I didn't realize like it was, I guess the exhaust coming from the header. So I was underneath the truck. It's a metal pipe. There's a fuck ton of them down there. I didn't actually realize what it was until I got touched by it. I was like, oh, fucking burn myself. And I come back and I have this little like red mark. He went, oh, that thing's harder than a road lizard. And I just started laughing. He was like, what? I was like,
We had a guy like that. He
But
was really old.
I knew
though. He was
exactly
like-
what he was talking
at
about.
70.
like, I don't know what a road lizard is, but like I can assume what a road lizard. Like, it was just funny. He always like, it's colder than a witch's titty out here, or
Yeah.
or a well digger's ass. It's colder than
Yeah.
a well digger's ass, and but
I don't think that'd
it's
be
just
very
so
cold.
it's so organic from
Yeah.
him that like like that's just
We
something
thought
that he
about.
says.
There's an old guy at work, and he was like 70. He was old. He wasn't like old because older. But he would say crap like that, and his name was Les, and we thought making like a Facebook page called Lesisms and just type like when you get chewed out, he'd say, "Man, he got his ass ate out." I'm like, do you know what that means? Like, yeah,
Well,
but
he-
that's like,
you're like,
but I've heard that before. And I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
he got chewed out. It's like, yeah, he got his ass ate out.
But I mean, like-
do you know what that means?
No, I don't think he did.
But you say crap like that. I'm like, we should just
But
put
I
a
mean,
picture
like-
of him on there.
I mean, Bob Nix used to say like golden one-liners all the
yeah.
time, but it wasn't the same thing. Like Brett he's just so country and like
No,
when
it was
he
like
says stuff,
wisdom.
I just laugh because like whatever he said, like, I have no idea what he's talking about. But like when he said it, I'm like, okay, a well digger's ass. Like I get it because it's like.
But
it's
it's
down on
funny
the
when they
ground,
go
it's
like on
cold.
a cussing rant or something. You're like,
Well, he doesn't
wow,
cuss
okay. Well, never mind then.
because he's very. He's like he used to rope cows or something or some, like ag something. So like he has like all these like badass belt buckles. And I asked him one time, I was like, you know what they say about guys with big belt buckles? And he was like, what? I was like,
No, what?
He was like, well, I won this in a rope. I'm like, yeah, but Brett, I'm like, what comes with that belt buckle? He was like, it's just a belt buckle. But I'm like, like the buckle bunny, you know what I'm saying? Like I bet you got like a lot of, got a lot of tail. He went, no, the calf's tail is snipped off. I'm like,
Yeah.
But it's funny because he showed me a picture of his wife, which she's pretty attractive. I was like, dang, dude. He was like, yeah, she can't see you good. I was like, what? He was like, I don't let her go to the eye doctor. I was like, I got it. Like, that's
Yeah.
funny. Like, I
It's
get
just
it.
that dry humor.
You're right.
Yeah.
Or he'll say something about, like, something being wet. He's like, yeah, my wife. I'm like, okay. Like,
says,
before you
what?
start,
What?
like, I got,
What?
no. He was like, well, what else? I was like, no, Brett, for the love of God, please don't.
So he's never heard something and thought that's what she said.
But he also, so he'll say a lot of stuff. I'm like, that's what she said. And like
What?
Thrasher
What'd
will
she
start
say?
laughing, and he'll be
Did
like,
she say
who
something?
said that?
Who said? Yeah, who said
It's
that?
funny.
What,
Yeah,
what
Brett.
did she say?
So he got I guess he had like his knee replaced, and he showed me a picture of his knee surgery, and it's just like an X-ray, and it's just like
Yeah,
this long.
I've seen
dick.
that. Yeah.
And he was
Like,
like,
you want
yeah.
to see my X-ray for my knee? You're like, okay,
So
whatever.
that's what he does. So he's like, hey, look at my knee. And so Spud, he's been retested for us. He's like, hey, you want to see a picture of my knee replacement? And Spud's like, oh, sure. Like, it's probably going to be gross. And Spud was like, He didn't notice that there was I was like, do you like that, Spud? And he was like, because I instantly.
He's like trying to figure
I
out,
knew,
like,
yeah, I knew
What's
exactly
wrong with
what,
his knee?
Like,
Yeah,
I knew
don't see
exactly what he
anything.
was
Well, then
showing me.
maybe you're thinking, Well, maybe he thinks that's normal. 'Cause he's
So then Spud, so I'm looking at Spud. I'm like, so do you really like that? He was like, it's cool. I'm
It's an
like,
extra.
do you
It's
think
like
it's cool, Spud? Do you really? He was like, oh fuck, and like I saw him see it, and like Brett started laughing. He's like, that ain't you. And then I was like, dude, why do you think he wears those pants? Because he always comes in with like those pants with like the stripe, like the iron.
Yeah.
He's kind of
Starched. Yeah.
right. Yeah, but it always has that crease in the
Uh-huh.
middle of it. I only know like country white dudes and black dudes do that. I don't. It's like a weird like as far away as black people think they are from white people. Not really, man. Like you're pretty close to us. We're pretty much the same. But he has those creases down the middle, and Spud's like, "Dang, dude, you're like a G." And Brett's like, "What?" Look at Brett.
no G, man.
And then so I had to explain like like that means cool, Brett. He was like, "Oh, thanks, Spud." He's the one that gave him because he's a
you ever
short black
call him
dude.
so white? Are you so white, man?
So Brett was like, "Hey, I'm gonna call him Spud." I was like, like the times right now, like that might not be a good idea. And then like he was like, "Hey, Spud," and like his name is Ray. And he turned around, he was like, "Ha ha." So like he's pretty cool. And so I'm like, you just kind of probably should be careful. Like just
Yeah.
like I don't think a lot of people are that sensitive, but like there are people that are gonna be
Yeah,
overly
the wrong
sensitive
person
just
is-
because you're a white dude.
Yeah.
And like I have a whole group of people that I call my black friends, which I had to be careful because like when I refer to them, like, oh, my black friends, and they're like, oh, do you have different set of? And like, touche. Okay, so and I'm not the best about like because I'm not racist at all, so I have a hard time like.
Well, in that situation, you'd be real defensive. You're like, no.
So
I have black friends.
But like so there's the dude wearing like a do-rag and like it's like a tight one. So like I'll walk by and I was like, oh, you're trying to get your rolls. And he was like, what? I was like, isn't that why black people wear to get your like and he was like, yeah. I was like, okay. That's like the waves, right? And he was like, how do you know that? I was like, I have black friends. I mean, I don't know. And he was like,
You have black friends.
okay, Tyler. Like, and he was like,
I'm gonna walk away now.
you cause like it's hip hop culture, which is like the most funny thing to explain to my mother is like I think that's my hobby in life is to explain hip hop culture to my mom, is because like one of my favorite stories, and Thrasher's gonna ask you about it when he comes on the show, is Olive Garden, when the guy Napoleon Dynamite himself came and asked us if he would like us to toss our salad, and Tony, which I was in high school still, I think. I was young. He started laughing first. And then, if he starts laughing, everyone laughs. So, like, I started laughing, and then my sister started laughing, and my mom was, sure. And then we started laughing even more. And then Tony's, like as he's laughing, he's, like, telling, like, I'm going to tell your dad, And so it was funny because then I started laughing harder because, like, I'm going to tell my dad that some guy, Olive Garden, was going to toss my mom's salad. It's funny. And then she was like, sure. And so we're all three of us are laughing, and like the guy's like, do you remember that?
Yeah.
So like I'm laughing, Tony's laughing, Amberly's finally starting because like she's still like just out of high school, so still being like a little too cool for her own good, And so we're all laughing.
I think she was just laughing.
My mom
to
is
be
just
a part of it. She didn't know what was going on.
sitting here like,
Sure.
and
But
then
y'all don't
like
want
finally
salad?
like. So I'm laughing hard because Tony's laughing hard, and finally Amberly calms down, and my mom goes, I don't get it. And then we start laughing even harder because that's fucking funny. But the guy
The
also,
waiter's just standing there.
you know how Napoleon Dynamite like
He goes,
tucks and runs?
gosh.
That's how he ran off. Like he didn't come back. He did not get. He was not
A
a waiter
new
any
table. I
longer.
need a new table.
So
I'm
finally,
laughing at tossing salads.
I mean, it was probably a good 10 minutes. Like we're both crying, and finally my mom goes, I don't get it. And then we start laughing even harder because that's even more funny because she doesn't understand it. And then she looks to Amberly and goes, explain it to me. And then we start laughing even more because they're like, now she's going to have to tell mom what.
She had to talk with
And
her
then
mother.
she didn't do it and made me do it. So I was like, like, has dad ever
That's how you explain
well,
it.
because she's never been with somebody else. So like,
You don't have to bring up the obvious, even if it's
well,
obvious.
I mean, has anybody ever licked your butthole, Mom? No, it's Dad. Has Dad ever licked your beehole before? And she was like, what? No. She's like, I don't even have one. I'm like, well, you do have one. And then it started off a tangent on how girls don't poop. Did you know that?
that you'll have that discussion at dinner?
Well, I don't think Tony and I ate. We were too busy laughing. But did you know girls don't have buttholes?
No, I know they do.
They don't. No, they don't.
Personally.
They also don't put. Oh, Ashley.
Hey, shut up. My mother listens to this show.
Why you? Oh, sorry, Debbie. Speaking of Debbie, I have something that I need her to hem. I have jeans. I'm gonna send with you, Tony. She hemmed my jeans before, and now I have new jeans that I need hemmed.
Just now getting to the new ones needing hemmed.
Yeah,
The other ones lasted so long.
So, yeah. Well, because she hemmed them good, so they still fit. So, but I have new jeans that I'm gonna send with you.
Okay.
Sorry, Debbie. She's the only one that can do. She did it. It was seamless. It was pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
She like cut the seam out of the bottom. Yeah, she was.
This is the short
good.
attention span we were talking about.
Yeah. Sorry.
We jumped on
Yeah.
a bunch of different things.
Yeah. Tangent.
Do you remember what you were talking about? Olive Garden?
Yeah, my mom tossing a salad. Well, I mean, my mom never tosses a
Getting
salad.
a salad tossed.
Yeah. Some random guy, tossing a salad for my mom. Yeah, that's the story. Yeah, it was fun. That's funny. Well, it took like an hour for us to get our food.
Yeah. Well, we had to get a new waiter.
Well, yeah, they were drawing straws. Or whatever.
Who's going to that table
Okay,
now?
well,
What's
straight face, do you
we
want your
were-
salad mixed up?
Well, who comes and asks, "Do you want your salad
That's
tossed?"
what she said.
That's not what my mom said. So
No, she would. What are y'all laughing about? Is what she said.
she didn't. It was more funny because my mom didn't know what that was. And I'm
That's
not
when you
sh-
grab Urban Dictionary.
Also not
grab
sure
the
my-
app Urban Dictionary. Well, I guess back then you didn't have smartphones, but
we
type
did
it up
have
and said,
smartphones.
"Here,
We all had iPhones
here,
then.
there you go, Urban Dictionary. Look it up." That's like something you don't Google.
Yeah, I told her not
That,
to.
like,
Yeah,
Blue
there's a bunch of
Waffle
stuff.
and-
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff where like don't blue waffle.
Yeah.
Don't Google it. And she'd be like, "What? I'm just gonna." I'm like, "Nope, don't."
Tony told me to. He showed me 2 Girls 1 Cup, but he didn't tell me what it
Oh,
was.
God.
That
Like-
was bad.
What the?
Ugh. So
Get back refocused. on
yeah,
what
sorry.
we're
We
supposed
were
to be
talking about I was talking about podcasts I watch all the time, like Joe Rogan. Obviously, is a huge one. He had a 2. I can't remember their names. I can probably look it up, but it's like 2 conspiracy guys. One of them is like a bunch of shit's been proven. It's like the last 2. It's like the one before Kanye, which Clemson. I'm gonna go on a random tangent here. It just reminded me of you see Clemson played without Trevor Lawrence.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You see how close they were to being defeated.
Yeah. It was close.
Yeah,
He's
playing
not playing
Notre
next
Dame.
week either.
they're playing Notre Dame.
You think they're gonna lose?
I know. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have 2 negative tests this week. And they're
Well,
gonna
so it
force him
doesn't
to
matter. It doesn't matter. He's not gonna play. It's what Dabo
So
said
why-
last week. Because
play. Why does it matter with
even though-
Nick Saban? Nick Saban tested positive like 5 days before.
because he's not playing. So playing in the game, you have to have a allotted amount of time. So even if he took the negative test, it would be on Thursday. They play on Saturday. It's not enough time.
I'll put a Trevor Lawrence
In the
on
NFL,
no practice.
In the NFL, you can do that, but in college, they're looking out for the youth, which
It's
it's
Trevor
a younger
Lawrence.
It's a younger
What is
body.
one of the schools I saw, and I can't remember
But he's
now.
staying in shape. He's not practicing with the team.
There was a
But
school
it's not like
that-
he's sitting on his ass.
He said that. So Dabo said like he's not necessarily asymptomatic, but he's not like he's up and active. Like he's not like laying in bed. Like
Yeah.
he's okay. He's just like it's not like a head cold. It's because I feel like COVID, which is gonna be insensitive, but I feel like it's like the flu. It literally is pretty close to the flu. All the same symptoms. It's a viral thing, so like there's not a whole lot you can do to not get it. You know, like I have to wear a mask every day. I hate the mask. It doesn't make any sense to me why you wear the mask. There's not scientific proof that a mask helps. It does help stop the spread, but same thing with the flu. So I'm not any less. When the flu season is around, I don't wear a mask, and I don't ever get the flu. So I'm at the very end of the process. Everybody touches this fucking truck before I touch it. I also am a fingernail chewer, so I always have my hands in my mouth. If I was gonna get COVID, I would have already had it.
Yeah.
So I hate the fucking mask. It's stupid to me. I don't see why I have to wear it. I don't see I have to wear it in public. I don't know why we have to wear it. It's liberals, I'm pretty sure. But getting off that tangent is it's just like it's like herd immunity is how we got over the flu a long time ago. Is like if you're gonna get the flu, you're gonna get the flu. That's it.
Yeah.
It just like every year. So like this COVID thing, I know like you maybe have had it. My mom had it. It's like people can get it, and there's a lot of people that like their parents have passed away because of that, and I can't imagine that terrible thing. But I'm healthy and active. I'm not getting it. I don't get the flu every year. If I don't feel good, I put on sweats and go play basketball, and I'll sweat it out of me.
Yeah.
Which is a proven fact. If you can sweat the flu out, you can sweat the flu out. It's just if you don't feel good, will you go do physical activity? Most people know. Me, I will because
if you lay down and just I mean, I'm not saying this works for COVID, but I know a lot of times, most mornings when I wake up when it's in the winter, my throat's killing me. And if I just get up, go to work, I'll feel a lot better. But if I just sit there and lag around and just say, okay, I'm sick,
so
I'm going to feel like crap the whole day.
I don't know what the scientific explanation for it is, but if you take vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc, it's whatever if the corona is in your body, it won't be able to multiply or whatever at a molecular level, whatever that term is. I'm not really sure what it is. That has been proven to not make it multiply. So, like, I mean, you could have COVID in you right now. I could. Tony could. It's just not affecting our bodies yet. So, it won't let it multiply. I take multivitamin, which we're all at the age now. I said this earlier. You should take a multivitamin.
Yeah.
Ashton.
I do.
The chewy one. That's what I take.
Mine's not a chewy one. I swallow
Take the pill? Oh, you're an adult. Well, you have kids, so you're
I
an adult.
That's just the one my wife grabs. I mean, you probably have to work harder to find the...
I do the gummy one. Same spot.
gummy
Just right
one.
beside
You
it.
find the gummy one.
But it's because I'm a child. Still. Yeah.
I mean, you're 2
Yeah, I
years
don't
younger
think it
than me,
matters
man.
how you
Intake
take
your
it.
vitamins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it
I feel like
matters.
the gummy ones are like cooler. I wish they made the Flintstone ones still, because I would do that.
Do they not?
They do make the Flintstone ones.
Adult ones?
Oh, I don't know.
Not in a gummy. I mean, it'd be a kid's one. You just got to find one with a lot more vitamins in it.
I just did the
Amazon.
adult. Joe Rogan has a really good vitamin.
So wrapping up, if you are still with us,
Yeah,
on
sorry.
your mind's going a million different
sorry.
places.
ADHD.
So advice: if you can't start a business in 2020, kind of wrapping up, take your vitamins.
Yeah.
And what's
8
more?
hours of sleep.
What's one
Yes.
more thing?
Sleep's important.
Yeah. 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Sleep. And what's one more thing we could take out? From
A lot of water.
Something we
Drink
talk.
a lot of water.
Not
A
about
lot of
staying
water.
healthy,
Health-
just about the show we just did.
I think you should just go out there and try stuff. This is the time for sure
Yeah.
to
If you're gonna go
branch
in,
out.
go all in.
For sure.
Yeah, just take risks. Don't be afraid to suck at something new.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Be sure to follow us on all of our podcast platforms. It's all in the comments below. I'm Ashton.
I'm Tony.
I'm Tyler.
Finding the sports equipment you need for the price you want to pay is difficult. You go to Academy and pay the big box store price, and Walmart doesn't have the selection you're looking for. Let me offer you an alternative, Rhino Sports. They give you great prices because they are 100% online. No storefront means low cost, which means savings are passed on directly to the consumer. Rhino Sports is a local Johnson County company, and selection goes way beyond what's featured on the website. Just go to rhinosportstexas.com to see what they have to offer. Again, that's rhinosportstexas.com. If what you are looking for isn't featured on their website, feel free to send them a message at their website or check them out on Facebook at RhinoSportsTX. Again, on Facebook at RhinoSportsTX.